On the correspondence team match between my video lessons group and CARPE DIEM. This was played on board 162. Our man is Nymm, mid 1600 rated versus low 1500 rated. And one of the purposes of doing this video series is to try to educate people on how to play correspondence chess. It's a lost art. Back in the days when I was younger, we played by postcard, and the post office had custody of the postcard more often than we did. And a game would last, if you played a domestic opponent, if you're lucky, you could get a game over in 9 months. A year and a half wasn't uncommon, and people today look at that and say, God, how can you stand it? Because they're used to the quick turnaround. Well, that's all there was, and if you had enough games going, you always had something interesting to look at. And you do want to take your time. Postal chess, correspondence chess was and is an art form if practiced correctly. They make correspondence chess magazines. Okay, there's Fernschock. That's a German publication for ICCF. They cover all the top flight master games. Other domestic organizations, like in the United States, Correspondence Chess League of America still publishes their bulletin. And there are a few others that have kind of folded. They're still, it's the All Services Postal Chess Club. You can message member Don Cotton. He's giving samples in my video lessons group. You can find him. He runs that magazine, edits it. But anyway, postal chess is something you take your time with. You look up the opening. You analyze the position. You try to find the best move. And the amount of blunders I see in online chess as it's played now, online chess is great. It eliminates the post office. You just make your move. It eliminates all the recording data. You had to write down, fill out the whole postcard, write down the moves, your reflection time, and if somebody overstepped the time limit, you had to submit a complaint. Now, none of that anymore. You don't have to write anything down. Just play the move on the interface. But too many people just look at this and say, oh, look, I can play lots of games at once. And if my opponent happens to be online, I can maybe get 30 moves in with them today. Okay, well, anyway. Clearly, this position here, this game here, comes from a limited book knowledge, and all of a sudden we get something very rare here. Now, normal, I think in this position is... is it H6 or is it C5? This is the Leningrad variation of the Nymm defense. But trying to remember which one comes first. C5, D5, H6. Anyway, I'm not sure if D5 is the correct move. And I'm not sure if Queen A4 is the right move either. But this queen doesn't belong here. It's normal for this queen to go to C2, and we're going to see why. Now, it's not threatening to take this piece. Well, it is threatening to take the piece, but black basically has to get out of check, and black correctly finds knight C6, and everything is fine. But notice one thing here after 6 moves. Black is castled. Black has developed 3 minor pieces. White has developed only his queen side. He hasn't done anything to get castled. And this is the culprit here. We're going to see here in a moment. White never gets castled, and we're going to see why in a moment. Now black sets up a little trick. And it's one of the reasons why this queen does not belong on A4. And white is oblivious to the trick and develops, fully expecting to castle next move. And now first step is for black to play this trick, he's got to get rid of this bishop. But he can do it with a check. And now there's a simple discovery. The queen is on pre, and the queen must retreat. And black has bagged a pawn. And I don't think white found the best square for his queen. He should have come back to D1. Okay? He plays A3. And now black's up a clear pawn. And now black embarks on what I think was a risky strategy. Black starts weakening his king side. Black didn't have to do this. I don't recommend opening up your king side. This basically gives white a tailor-made attack. He's ready to get started right now. Whereas if black had left his pawns here, the attack isn't easily coming. Just make moves like Bishop c6. That'll stop white from castling queenside, at least this move. Yeah, he can put the queen on, or the rook on d1, but so what? Or play a move like rook here intending queen e7, trying to take some pressure off. Or maybe b6 and c5, shutting off this queen. I mean, all kinds of other reasonable moves than giving white a tailor-made attack. But now he opts to play bishop c6. And here, white decides to take the bull by the horns and plays king e2 to connect his rooks and get his kingside attack rolling. He forgoes castling. Bishop e2 might have been a safer move, but now you know, white, you shouldn't have your king exposed in 15 moves of any game. Okay, something has gone wrong. In this case, the move right before white was ready to castle, black pulled a tactic. White had to lose the tempo and retreat his queen. Let's go back and just so you understand what I'm talking about. See, what black had to do was, or white had to do was go ahead and admit his mistake of putting the queen i4 and bring it back to c2, and he wouldn't have lost the pawn. And chances are he's going to get castled, and we have a whole new game. Okay, let's come back to where we were. So king e2, and now here comes the attack I was talking about. However, black has resources. There's a pin. This pawn is now pinned, and actually black starts out playing white here. And bang, free pawn. Okay, so 2 free pawns actually. So what's white got? 4 pawns, black has 7. White's 3 pawns down with dubious compensation. Black offers exchanges. Now black sees that h6 is menaced, so he brings his king up. White increases the pressure. Black makes an exchange, and black comes over and defends. And you know, black's doing a fine job of defending, but black is going to go bonkers here, so to speak, in just a moment. I really don't understand what black was trying to do here. Okay, so it comes from moving too fast, maybe faulty calculation. But black to play has a simple win. Just play queen g7. Okay, the threat is mate in 1, so white has to deal with that. How is he going to deal with it? Let's see. If you put the rook on h1 to defend g1, you don't guard g2. And that at least costs you a rook. And black is quite easily winning this. Okay, what other defenses are there? We can stick the rook here, but that just drops more material, and black is now the exchange up, and white's play is pretty much exhausted. Just bring the queen in, get ready to penetrate. What else is left? Let's see. I guess maybe you could take this pawn, but that runs into all kinds of potential problems. Let's see. If anything, black can just play knight check. Okay? And if black takes with the queen or the bishop, this rook on f3 is falling. So, you know, you'll be surprised to see what black plays here. I just don't understand it. I just don't understand this move. He comes up with knight takes f2. And that's just going to get him in all kinds of trouble. And watch what white starts doing. First white throws a check. Okay. Let's see. What was black thinking? Let's see. I guess he figures if king takes, he's got rook g2 check. Okay, that's what he's thinking. But naturally, white saw that, and you know, I used to play chess this way too. I would make a move and hope my opponent would fall into what I saw. But if they were good, they not only would see what I was trying to set up and avoid it, they would go more or less go play a good move, and that's exactly what white does. Suddenly the tables are turned, and white is going to be winning this position. And here comes another check and one legal move. And now black can practically throw in the towel. But once again, the inexplicable happens. It comes from the old adage or the old problem of moving too fast. Black gives a spy check, and all white has to do is sit and calculate, and he'll come out ahead, and we'll show it in a moment. Okay, he comes here. Major mistake. How could he miss this check? Now there's one legal move, and that walks right into checkmate. But if you back it up, if king goes to g1, black is going to run out of checks here really fast. Okay, maybe you get this check, but black can even afford to take with the queen here. Okay, if you take the queen, I'm taking your queen with check, and then I'm picking up your knight. That's just for starters. That's just one line. If you don't do the check, this rook is giving a discovered check somewhere. Not to mention the fact that there's a mate threat right here. Queen h7 is mate. Game over. White's winning completely, and white snatches defeat from the jaws of victory, just like that at a moment's turn. So, one of the purposes, like I say, of running these games is to show you how to play correspondence chess and analyze, and how can you miss a forced continuation that leads to mate and lose out the chance to deliver your own checkmate. I just don't get it. Because you move too fast, okay? I've talked about it before. The number one reason players lose games on the internet, or even in chess in real life, is because they move too quick. Okay, another case in point. Now let's move on to the next game that they played. This is a puzzling affair too. Okay, so we have the Ruy Lopez, the Berlin defense, which the grandmasters are, if they want to draw with black, that's what they've been playing. And here the inexplicable happens. You would never guess what black will do here. Black sacrifices his knight. I just don't get it. There's no follow-up. Here, let's see what happens. This can't be in the book. Did you look up the book? I mean, okay, yeah, maybe there's a subnote on this. Maybe somebody actually won a game because white blundered, but I can't believe this is any good for black. Giving up a piece with only one piece developed, your knight. Well, yeah, you get to develop a bishop with check, but white finds a nice move. The point being, if bishop takes check, white can simply play knight takes. And one of the problems is, here, let's just show you rather than use the arrows. Okay, the problem here is this: you can play knight takes. Now, if knight takes, rook takes is possible. For that matter, even queen takes is possible. And white's going to go up two pieces. Okay, maybe there's a queen check here, but that shouldn't lead to anything. Okay, get your knight in. Well, guess what? I'm gonna check you. I'm gonna make it so you can't castle, and the black attack is completely ground to a halt here. Hey, I'm gonna start attacking you now. Hello, queen. Where are you gonna go? I don't think she has. Does she have a safe square to go to? Doesn't look like it to me. See? And I'm just spending a few seconds analyzing this out, okay? So what could black be thinking when he took on f2? It's just perplexing. So black figured out he couldn't take on d4, so he backed up, but he still got a pin on the d-pawn. White's king is still exposed, but white just starts liquidating material. Thanks for the pawn. Now you can't castle either. Now he's trying to shut the bishop out. Good idea. And if black plays c5, you just push by d5, and that bishop's out of the game, and white's a piece up. Pinning the knight. No big deal. Let's go chase your queen. And now white starts having some fun. Check. Now here I think white missed a good move. Just bishop takes d6 because the threat is rook here, but what he played is fine. And how can you let somebody's bishop infest your position, even though it's not doing much? How often do you see a bishop infesting your position when you can't castle at move 14? It's very rare. Okay, so black creates a little room for his king to stop the threat of mate. White sets up a discovered check. Black stops it, and you can get a new discovered check here. Here it comes, and the king is about to go for a walk. So here, black grabs his piece back, but it won't do him any good. Here comes the check, and another check. Now white stops to take a piece back. Black recaptures, and now the king starts going for a walk. Here he comes, and there's not much to this game. And what's amusing about this position is the number of checkmates white has in one move. I think I counted 7 of them. White plays rook e3 mate, but this is kind of fun. Knight b5 is mate. Knight a4 is mate. That's 2. Knight b1 is mate. That's 3. Knight d1 is mate. That's 4. Knight e2 is mate. So let's see. That's 5. Let's see. Wait. How many might move? b5, a4, b1, d1. Yeah, 5 knight moves are mate. I think knight d5 is mate. There's 6. 6 different knight moves are mate. One is illegal. You can't put the knight on e2. Knight e4 is not mate because you're giving no, it is mate. Yeah. So 7 different. Any knight move is a mate. That's 7 of them right there. And that leaves rook e3 mate that was played. So it's all a matter of taste and preference. Anyway, both sides are guilty of moving too fast. Both sides made some mistakes in their judgment and their planning. Although Nymm didn't make any mistakes here that I could see. There were plenty of different ways to win it, but you can't sacrifice a piece as black on move 5 in the Berlin defense. Okay, if black could do that, it would have been done already. Let's look at this key position. This has appeared in Grandmaster games countless times. Okay, no Grandmaster has played knight takes f2. So give you credit for trying, but it just wasn't in the cards. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I'll get out another video as soon as I can. Take care.